How's it hanging, YouTube's Peter here, Ginger Joe the Geek, and welcome to another 1/6 scale news. And tonight I'm joined by my good friend James T. Keegan. How are you doing?
Heyo.
Ew, indeed. Yeah, are you
What's
well?
up? I'm very good, man. Let's talk some figures.
Yeah, so this is a bit of an impromptu kind of catch up because there's been so much news about 1/6 scale figures this week. There's been just kind of image after image. So I thought it would be nice to chat about them. Obviously, usually we're joined by Ben, but Ben's taking a little bit of time off at the moment, so hopefully we'll be back soon because I know he'll be dying to talk about some of these figures. And we might be joined by Austin a little bit later on in the chat. But we'll see how we're going. Just very quickly, jumping into the chat to see who's here. We've got good old GP. Thank you very much for joining, bud. Always appreciate seeing you. We've got Gigi. Thank you very much for joining, Gigi. Appreciate you coming along. So, James, now...
you forgot our
I forgot our biggest fan. StreamYard. Nice to see you. And we've got Pinch Punch. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, James. Excuse me. You have to excuse me tonight. I've got a bit of a chest infection, so I might keep coughing. But there's been tons of interesting imagery coming out this week. So I thought we'd just have a quick catch up. Like I say, it'll not be long, this one, I don't think, but just going over some of these figures. And I'm interested, James, because you've got a couple of 1/6 scale figures now, so I'll be interested to see if any of these pique your interest. Just remind us what you've got and what you've got on order.
At the moment I only have like PlayStation characters, so I have 3 Last of Us figures. So the Clicker, Joel Ellie, I have Nathan Drake, I have 2 Spider-Man from the Spider-Man video game, and a Ghost of Tsushima Jin. On order I have a Mad Max, like Prison Toys, I think, Mad Max, and a Nathan Drake. And I feel like there's another one, but I've forgotten what it is.
There is James.
Oh, I have an In-Arch Batman as well. Yeah. So
very
I'm expanding.
Cool. So you've actually got quite a big collection, really, haven't you?
I do. Like, it's almost like you forget about it half the time that I actually do these things, and it's a really big interest and hobby of mine, you know.
Yeah.
No, I've actually lately been looking at, like, I'm dipping my toe in Star Wars at some point, but I haven't quite decided where. I'm just waiting for the right price, for the right figure.
I'm telling you, there's a very good deal on the internet at the moment. We've both seen it. 2 very cool figures for, is it $550 or something like that?
$575 for a deluxe Ahsoka. Luke and Ahsoka, and I'm like, oh, they pair together well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's a hard one to miss, that, mate.
We'll see.
Okay, so let's jump in and see what we're talking about tonight. First of all, James, you know my deep advanced knowledge of Star Wars.
Yes.
What the shit's this? Well, I don't even know what this is called.
This is a KX droid, so it's like a kind of a security battle droid that the Empire uses. So, like, one of them was a prominent character in Rogue One.
I remember that one.
K2XO, SO, and then they're a pretty frequent enemy in Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
And they show up in Andor as well. So yeah, like it's a really cool droid. This is based on. I don't remember them showing up in Book of Boba Fett. But this is
that's why it kind of confused us, to be honest, because it's labeled as Book of Boba Fett, but I can't remember seeing them.
For the life of me, I don't remember seeing a KX droid in there.
I mean, these look pretty cool. I do like the design. They're not die cast, so it is a plastic figure. Which is a bit of a shame, I think. I think they could have gone all out and put a bit of die cast on it. Is this the one you'd be interested in?
It would go nice in a Jedi setup, yeah. So, like, I don't know. I'm still waiting on that Cal Kestis, please and thank you. But yeah, I'd be tempted to get one to go with him if like have a little diorama if they announce one of him down the road. But I know a lot. The K2SO is like a really hard, really expensive figure to get. So I know a lot of people are going to pick this up and kind of sub him in their Rogue One display.
So it's reminders, because you know my old brain. Aesthetically, what's the difference between this guy and the one you've just mentioned?
There's a bit of rust on this. I think other than that, it's identical. Because it's the same.
So you could probably buy this and mod it if you wanted.
Oh yeah, you could probably clean it up and maybe do a little paint or something and make it a K2SO.
Yeah. Not a one that I've got on my list. Is this something you think you'd buy if you had that Luke?
Not the Luke. If a Cal Kestis gets announced, I'll be sweeping out for enemies to put them with, you know.
I can't get my head around why we've not had a Cal. You know, they announced that a couple of weeks ago in terms of the trooper.
Yeah. It's coming, certainly. Like 100% is coming. So, because like, why is to do a Jedi Survivor line and not do the protagonist of the series. Like obviously it's going to happen at some point. So yeah, tempting. I'll look into it if I see a Cal come up at some point.
Yeah. It is a nice looking figure, mate. I do like the light up features in the eyes and the two blasters.
But we were talking earlier with Mr. Attention Seeking Geek, and he mentioned about the whole dead eyes thing when they're not on, and that's like that would really piss me off. Like I know you have an Iron Man, and that's kind of an issue with that, isn't it?
Yeah. I think and I think that's probably in relation to the C-3PO that it just looks dead. It looks switched off.
And that just looks like a figure, kind of loses the shine a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Interesting one. I spotted this and I thought this quite looks interesting. So this is Barbarian. This is by HH Model Figures. It's an unlicensed figure. Obviously, it's a representation of Conan the Barbarian. I think that's a pretty good likeness to Arnold. Do you not think?
It looks a little off. Like the brow is a bit too. Maybe it's just because it's he's younger in it, and I haven't seen any of those Conan movies, so I don't know if maybe.
You've never seen Conan?
I've seen the Jason Momoa one.
Oh, geez, that doesn't.
So yeah. No, I just never. I don't know. It's not really on my. Never been on
you
my
must
list.
Have seen Red
radar.
Sonja.
No,
you've never seen him.
No, I know the character from comics, but I've never watched them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I mean, you look at this, it's the Arnie version of Conan. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool if you're a fan of this. You collect a lot of like movie icons. Would this be one you'd be looking at?
So I do, but I did enjoy the movie, and I remember watching the movie and all the rest of it. But this isn't one that sticks in my mind as kind of an instrumental movie of my past, if you know what I mean. I think it's a canny figure. I do think it's. GP says I need to eject you from the stream for not having watched Conan. I do think it's a good figure. I like the look of it, but I don't think it's a one I'll be picking up.
Yeah, I'm assuming you can take that top off because he's shirtless most of the time, isn't he?
He is in the movie, but you're a dirty little boy. You want his top off? You want his?
I want his proper
nips exposed.
And some nipples, some really good detailed 3D sculpted nipples. Yeah.
Not buying a 1/6 figure unless I can see his nips, is what you're saying. Yeah. Andy, sorry, couldn't join live, chaps. It was between you guys and a Chinese beer and Super Mario PG's one. Fair enough.
I'd take that deal too.
Yeah, excellent. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool figure. Not one I'll probably pick up, but I do think it's quite smart. This is an interesting one. So this is the Rocket and Cosmo 2-pack that came out. Sorry, that was announced. I've got a Rocket, but I do like that costume. Cosmo's an interesting character to get. You get some nice weapons with him, magnetized to his back. What do you think of this?
It's nice that they included another character with Rocket, I think, because they've released him as his own character, haven't they? Like on his own. And I think that's a bit cheeky. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like if you want that new Guardians lineup that we see at the end of the movie. So unintentionally a spoiler there if anyone hasn't seen it. But yeah, I go for this. Like I think it's Cosmo is a character that people surely want with their Guardians display. So yeah, I think it's cool.
I like the sculpt on Cosmo. I'm not convinced on the mouth on the Rocket.
I hate it. It's like open the mouth a little bit or just have him like mouth closed. Like it just looks weird. Like I was surprised there wasn't a second head sculpt or like maybe a hinged jaw or something like that.
That's kind of what I was expecting, to be honest.
Like this shot looks weird. Like it's just not the right expression for. You need like a neutral expression that you can pose him any way you want, and it kind of works.
Yeah.
And this isn't that. Like,
I mean, so like I say, I've got a Rocket figure, and they are small. And when you're thinking about kind of the price of these figures, you're right. You get the Cosmo in this, but this is still retailing for around about $230, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's quite pricey still, to be honest. For two very small figures,
basically accessories almost, aren't they? Like
yeah.
No, it's very pricey, but like at least it's two together. Like I think a Rocket on his own has been released for like 160, 180, if not more. But yeah, they need to like fix that head sculpt to give you a second head sculpt because it's bad, like really bad.
Sorry. We've got Ian here, and we've got Andy's saying he's just watched the This Is Your Life of James today. Please don't tell him I'm currently sitting on my phone. Yeah, so that
It's
was
not-
last night.
It's not an unpopular opinion to not
Just
like
call-
people in the cinema on their phone. Like it's why
James
am I the
went to
underdog
war
here in
with
this
the
argument?
audience last night. So go back and watch that show. It was very interesting. So yeah, when this teaser image of the Guardians figures, and we're going to touch on another one in a little bit. When this teaser image of the Guardians came out, I was kind of thinking, because I was fresh off the movie, I'm going to get all these. I'm going to get these, and they look awesome. I'm starting to change my mind, I have to say.
Okay.
I don't know if I need these anymore. I certainly don't need that rocket because I don't like the head sculpt at all.
How's the head sculpt on the one you have? Because you have the Endgame version, don't you? And it's a similar.
Yeah,
costume.
it's different smile, different face.
Okay, and it looks like. Are you quite happy with that one?
Yeah, it looks good. Okay. It looks good. Yeah, I mean, I could get that and swap the heads, I suppose. Yeah. Welcome, Jack. Thank you very much for joining. Andy's saying James is such an angry young man. Yeah. So, is this the one you're going to pick up? Then, do you think?
I've been meaning to get Guardians for a while. I wanted like a set, and I was looking down it, but I prefer the Endgame look for Rocket. To be honest, like I think the gloves match the kind of red on the suit, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I just kind of like that sleeker kind of look more. So if I was to get a Rocket, I probably wouldn't go for this one. But like, yeah, if someone put up a Cosmo on its own for £100 or whatever, might go for it. Is in the movie, is there not like a part of the helmet, like another extra part of the helmet on her?
On Cosmo.
Yeah, like an opened old style space
thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, like that's not included in this.
I don't know. Okay, James, I'm going to ask you a question.
Right.
And we might upset some of our friends here. Looking at that Cosmo, if you forget it's a hot toy, is it worth £100?
No.
It doesn't.
It's a little plastic dog. Like how much articulation is there?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
even the sculpt on the suit there doesn't look great.
No, it's like you can see the hinges there and everything. Yeah, it's like it's a dog figurine. Like it's you could get one of these in B&M or whatever for a $5. So like yeah.
No, I think I'm going to pass on that one. Jack, just leave it, mate. Just leave it. I don't want to rile him up anymore.
Thank you, Jack.
Right?
It's nice to have vindication.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the Rocket and Cosmo. Oh, now. This has come along from Present Toys. This is Flight Officer. It's obviously a representation of Ellen Ripley.
Yes.
From the Aliens movies. You get some cool accessories with it. Love the egg. Love the face hugger and the two guns.
Guns look cool. Bandolier looks cool. Costume looks cool. That face though. Yeah. It's what is it about it? Like it's the eyes are a bit droopy. The jaw is so chiseled as well. Like it's very strange.
I mean, Ellen Ripley is a bit of a grail figure for a lot of people. Hot Toys did one a while ago, but it's very, very hard to get a hold of. You can also get a version of her with the yellow powerlifter suit as well, I think. But again, that's hard to get one. Yeah. I'm desperate for a Ripley in my collection, but I'm probably going to end up ordering this,
I mean, it's a good stand-in, really, isn't it? Like for when a better one comes along.
Yeah. I like you see, but Andy's upsetting us, man, because he's right. What the fuck is this?
To be fair, though, a lot of the time these figures look a lot better, like in hand. Sometimes they look worse. Sometimes they look better. And so, like, yeah, I think when you pose this up with a xenomorph, it's gonna look cool. So, like, yeah go for it. I'm getting a bit worried now, and because Present Toys, there was something the last time we did one of these shows, and Present Toys had like another head sculpt that was bad.
Yeah,
and I'm really worried about my Tom Hardy Mad Max now, like from Present Toys. Like, just
I mean, what I would say with Present Toys is that they've done some good figures, Indiana Jones and things like that. Yeah, Andy. They've done some good figures, but they seem to be banging out the announcements at the moment. So they've had some really good announcements. I think the Blade's by them as well.
The Blade looks amazing. It's stunning.
Yeah, but if they're pushing them out so quickly, it does start to make you worry a little bit about the quality of the heads.
It was Nick Cage Ghost Rider, is that what it was?
Can't remember if that was Present Toys as well.
That
Can't
Present
remember.
Toys, yeah. Because they're
Um,
doing Blade, maybe that was like why there. I
yeah.
was like, that's the connection. But yeah, might look better in hand, and I think like in a display with the Xenomorph, it'll look pretty cool. So like it's that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
The base is cool, even though like it looks like the ship like floor and yeah, cool accessories. If that was just slightly better, this would be like, oh my god, I need to get this kind of figure.
I mean, that's cool. I like that.
I love it. Yeah, it's great accessory to have. Like that wasn't necessary, and they threw it in there.
Yeah. My worry with this is I decide to go for this, and then the release of one in the yellow turbo power lift suit thing, whatever it is, afterwards.
Would you be getting the yellow turbo power lift suit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
But there is there not one out already? It's just hard to
get. By Hot Toys, but it's obscenely expensive and hard to get.
Wasn't your Iron Man like Hulkbuster suit insanely hard to get?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. If you have the willpower, Peter.
Point taken. I'm probably going to order this. I am probably.
I would do if you're the alien.
GP, you bring in the the comments right to the cutting edge there. A Vag spider. Yeah. Thanks, GP.
It's always top notch comments in there, Pete.
I agree, Andy. That's the big worry, mate. It's going to be, But I've got an alien, and it would look cool next to the alien, even if you don't know who it is.
But you can see who it is. You can look at that figure, and I would say that's Ripley. The face looks a little off, but it's like it looks better than a blown up Marvel Legends figure.
Yeah, I mean, it does give us a bit of faith because they literally put these images out earlier in the week, and then by Thursday they'd put this out to say that they'd listened to some feedback and they'd changed the color of the pants to make it more in line with the movie. They changed the color of the weapons, and they've given you something so you can attach the weapons together. So hopefully they're listening to hopefully they need it to hear the comments about the face sculpt, and they'll try.
Although a brand new head sculpt would be a lot more expensive than just a repaint of redying the clothes and repainting the guns. So we'll see. But,
yeah. Good point. Correct. It needs a bit of weathering. Yeah. Okie dokie. And then we'll come to this. So this is the Star-Lord figure, which is we've seen some images of this week. Loving the costume. I think the costume looks absolutely stunning. In terms of accessories, I think probably for one of the first times you get kind of blaster effects there. You can see that you can click onto the end of his guns. You get his Walkman. It looks pretty cool. This head sculpt. What do you think of the head sculpt?
Like it's 99% there. It's sort of strange. And like if I remember right, like the first Guardians film, the Hot Toy Star-Lord was I think that was the figure I saw, and I was like, oh, what are these? And that's how I learned what Hot Toys were, and that was a figure I wanted for a long time. Never got it in the end. Lucky I didn't, because it's pleather. I think it would be destroyed by now. Yeah. But the head sculpt on that, if I remember correctly, was like amazing. Guardians 2 and the Infinity War ones look amazing, and this one, like, it just looks, there's just something not quite right. Like, it's nearly there. I don't know. The hair's good, though.
I think my problem with it is, I think it's a great head sculpt in terms of a representation of Chris Pratt. I do think it you can tell straight away that's Chris Pratt. But my issue with it is, I just don't think the smirk and the face goes with the figure, unless he's in that dancing face. Look at him with the gun there. It just doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, and like, because I think he usually has that look in the other figures, but they came with masks, and a lot of people displayed them with the mask on. And this is like there's not a lot of laughs to be had from this character in that movie either. It's a very somber story for him. So like, it's strange that like they went with that. But like, I think that's sort of how people see Star-Lord. He's like a upbeat, fun character. So
I do think in terms of a head sculpt, I think it is very good in terms of the likeness to Chris Pratt. I'm just not sure I like the I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting.
I think though it's like a bit lighter on accessories than previous figures. Like there's like I said, no, even though he doesn't have a mask in the movie, I think you should just given him one here. So that's an option. Just throw him one in from one of the other figures.
Yeah. Does this mean he rolls his eyes every time you move? No, that would be fun. No, the rolling eye, but I always find this a bit weird. So they've got separate rolling eyeballs. So you can do what you want with the eyes. Now, why you'd want to do that, I'm not sure. But you can pose the eyes as you please. So you could have them pointing in opposite directions if you want.
Yeah.
Or
make them cross-eyed.
Make them cross-eyed.
If you don't know what Chris Pratt looks like cross-eyed.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good head sculpt, I think. I like the costume. Like I said, this one and Rocket haven't blown us away as expected, which is why I'm kind of saying I'm not sure I'm going to go for this. I think if I'd had a helmeted version of this, not that he wore the helmet in the movie, I don't think, but if I had a helmeted version of this, I might have gone for that, I think.
I'll be really interested to see, like, the first thing I do when this comes out is look up someone putting the mask on it and see that look. And I think it would be like, I wish that was in the movie kind of thing, you know?
I think you're right, James. I think you're right. Now you've said that. Yeah. It's nice.
Those head sculpts would be easy to come by, though, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Sell them separately, like, a while up.
This freaks the shit out of me. I don't know why. So this is InArt's going to pre-order on the 23rd of this month. This is their first in their line of Harry Potter figures. I'm saying that because they seem to have made it very clear on the promotional stuff that this is the Hogwarts uniform figure, which kind of leads you to think that there's going to be a whole host of different.
I'm curious because you know how, like, with the Joker, there's a two-pack set. And with the Batman, there's also a 2-pack set with, like, Bruce Wayne and Batman. Yeah. I'm curious if this will be a 2-pack set with, like, the Quidditch uniform or something, or like his Christmas jumper or something like that. That's what my guess would be. Like, I was wondering what a 2-pack of this would look like. Because is this the only the picture that they've shown of this?
Yeah.
So we don't know what accessories. So, like, I'm assuming there's a wand.
So this is the only image you've got, and I'm looking at the owl. And I'm wondering, is that kind of a flocked kind of thing, or is it?
I would imagine so.
Because that doesn't look like plastic, does it? It looks like
I'd almost say it's real, like owl feathers.
Yeah, and you know, I'm saying it's freaking us out, and it is. But I think that's a spot-on head sculpt of Daniel Radcliffe back.
And like the I'm assuming that's rooted hair. Looks very, very good. It's like a shrunk down Daniel Radcliffe, and we've seen a lot of these.
Oh, do you?
No, exactly. Yeah. But you know, we look at all these figures and it's this looks awesome, this looks badass, but we're looking at like a 10, 11-year-old kid shrunk down.
Yeah.
Is that maybe why, like?
Yeah, I think you know, when they said they were doing Harry, and it makes perfect sense that they're going to start at the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
But when they said they were doing Harry Potter, in my stupid head, I'm seeing them in those last movies. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what I expected.
Well, you'd want Hogwarts uniform, but I would, you know, like if I was like my dream Harry Potter figure, it would be like the Triwizard Tournament in 4, like that look. Yeah. Even though I hate that hair, but if you're going to do a Harry Potter, you start with that first movie with the iconic, the uniform, well pressed and everything with Hedwig, and I'm assuming it comes with the cage and kind of other stuff like that. So it's going to be.
I mean, Jack, you're right. I really do think it's bang on resemblance. I think it's quite stunning, to be honest. Now, James, I know you are a Harry Potter fan. Is this something that you would pick up?
I'm very, very tempted. I've been on an InArt buzz. Like I have 3.5 hours to decide whether I want Aragorn and Gandalf, and I'm actually quite tempted to go for them. So.
And I guess what I would say, and this is it's a silly point, I guess, really, but these whole sculpted versus rooted hairs, if you look at the Joker, you look at Aragorn, there's a lot that can go wrong with the rooted hair if you don't get it quite right, and that fanning on, styling it and all that kind of stuff. That looks pretty low maintenance to me. It's a pretty.
I think that just droops, doesn't it? Like it's not you don't have to style it at all, really. It's just cut
so
that
if
way.
There's one you're going to go for with rooted hair, it might be something like that, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll see what the price is, and I'm very, very tempted. Like I'd love a bit of Harry Potter in my collection, and like looking at other, I think Star Ace that do those terrible boys figures. They have the Harry Potter license, and they're not good at all. So like, I mean, I might go for this, and if there's another version of him down the road that they do, I'll pick that one up and get rid of this one.
I reckon that InArt are going to do a kind of every version of them going up through the ages.
Oof, 7 figures, like, because you want one to pair with Voldemort, and like you don't get that until 4 up, you know, where you could like have him
Absolutely.
and Voldemort dueling. Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by that owl. Now I've looked at it more. That's definitely not. That's not a sculpted
I
owl.
know that's textured. That's flocked. Like
Yeah.
100%.
I wonder if they've killed a real owl and they've just stuck.
That's what I mean. Like it's in Irish. It's entirely. And where are these made? In like Singapore or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, where the animal
That's a
rights.
selling point, isn't it? Real owl feathers.
Real owl feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be trouble to get through customs. Jack, surely this won't be much. I reckon it's probably still going to be what 200.
Knock like
maybe?
40 off of what Batman is, and I think that'll be it. Like just because it's slightly smaller doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be much cheaper. Like we were saying with Rocket earlier,
250 up maybe. It depends if they're doing rooted, non-rooted. But yeah, be interesting.
If it's 250 for the rooted, I'll get this.
Jump on it. Yeah, we'll see.
Just because I like the prestige of like I have an in-art figure, you know. It feels, I know it's like obviously very good marketing on their part to be like it just feels cool to have one.
Yeah.
You know, but like from what we've seen with Joker, the quality is there. So
be interesting to see the price when it comes out. Now, this came out a good while ago, and this is the Iron Man, the Origins Collection Deluxe version. Well, I'm always saying that I want more Hot Toys kind of comic accurate, and I loved the look of this. But they did this really interesting design feature where you can see on the image they've kind of encased his body with the clear plastic.
Plasticky shit. Like, what's it doing? Why is it not removable? Like, that's the
parts of it are removable, but big parts aren't. And there's been people who've tried to mod it and take sections of it off. And I know there's some big YouTubers who've said that actually it looks great in hand. I don't know, it looks weird. So I've sat on this one. I haven't bought it. It really appeals to us because I love the gold and red armor kind of classic look. But the plastic doesn't do it for us. But now they've put some blogger images out of these. This looks fucking amazing. So this is the stealth armor Iron Man from the same line. Now I can't see the clear plastic on that. I don't think it's there. Yeah. Getting rid of it on this particular figure. It's die cast metal. And look at that. I mean, that if they've not manipulated those images and that's actually the sheen and the color that it looks in your collection, you imagine that with a light on it.
It's so shiny.
Glowing red eyes in chest piece, arc reactor. I think that's sexy as fuck. I mean, I think that looks stunning. You get the two different, I think you get the two different mask types with it. You know, the V kind of head and all the rest of it. I wasn't expecting to want this, but I kind of do.
Yeah.
This is 320 or 350, I think. They've also put this out.
I saw this one. Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
This looks sick. This looks absolutely.
Now they have still got the plastic on the abdomen there.
I think it works though because it's silver and black.
Yeah.
Like you don't notice as well as like when it's covering a red, or gold suit. But like, yeah, this was pretty. Like this might be one of the nicest looking comic book figures I've seen. I'm assuming you ordered this already, Peter.
I haven't ordered it yet, but do you know what?
Just get all three of them. Just get them.
I think,
you want them.
I mean,
all three.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat, guys, which one jumps out at you best: the stealth armor or the War Machine. Oops.
For me, it's the War Machine. I think the War Machine looks like amazing.
I've got a couple of War Machines as well, so I could have like a War Machine collection, couldn't I?
There you go.
Would this tempt you?
Justify it to yourself.
You heard? You see again?
That's how you justify it to yourself as a War Machine collection.
Is this something you would pick up, James?
I just don't collect comic book based figures or anything like that. Like my Marvel is very, again, like Star Wars, it'd be a slippery slope. There's maybe one or two figures I want to get, but I have my Spider-Mans. You know, when they do a Wolverine for the PS5 game down the road, I'll get that. But like I'm steering clear of these. But they're great looking. Like, and when I'm visiting your house, Peter, I will look at them, and I'll be happy for you.
Lots of people are commenting on War Machine there. Yeah, guys, I think you're right. I think this looks like an absolutely. It's a must-have, I think, for me.
Go for it. Do it.
Yeah. Do it, boo.
The missus will forgive you, eventually.
She'll never know. I don't tell her. I hide packages from her. Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool. I like that. Then we get this image here which is of the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Hot Toys. This is kind of a promo image, and it's kind of set people off a little bit. I think the Miles looks good. I think the Spider-Gwen looks pretty good. A lot of people are a little bit unhappy with this Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, it's sculpted. It's not there's no fabric.
That's right. It is sculpted, isn't it? That's not a costume.
It's a plastic figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the joints don't look the best.
No, I mean you can see them. That's the problem. There's no fabric to hide them under, so they're just there. Yeah.
It's a strange one. This. I mean, I'm interested to see more images of it. The Miles looks pretty cool. I like the, but then I've just literally bought a Miles, so I wouldn't.
Well, exactly, isn't it? Like, and then people have problems with the Spider-Gwen one, don't they?
I've not really watched many. I picked Spider-Gwen up as a gift for someone a while ago, and I had a bit of a look at it before I sent it on. I don't think it's a particularly good figure, personally, myself.
Like it'll do for a Spider-Gwen if you want a Spider-Gwen,
yeah.
But like it's not like a blow your, I'm blown away kind of thing. So hopefully this one like improves on what's people find wrong with that one. I'm not really, I have a Miles as well, like from the game. If I was to get a 29.9, I'd probably get that game version because I like that kind of realistic look for it rather than this. I'm not really a huge fan of this design. It's not going to impact my, it's a different version and I'm cool with that, but it's not like the one I would go for myself.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see some bigger images of the Spider-Man. It's a very strange move for Hot Toys to go, fully sculpted rather than any kind of fabric costume.
Yeah, like I'm curious what the reasoning for that is going to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now this one totally confuses James. So you sent us an image of this one today.
Yes.
I have no fucking clue. So I know I messaged you earlier and said, is it meant to be Tom Hardy from what's that? The
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders or something.
And no, it's not. It's not.
I mean, Legendary Merchant doesn't even help us. I haven't got a fucking clue what this is.
So this is so obscure that like I will never like say nothing can anything cannot happen. You know what I mean? So this is a character called James Delaney from a TV show called Taboo that came out 6 or so years. I think it was 2017 or something. It was a really big deal at the time in the lead up to it, and then when it started, people just kind of forgot about it. But it's a Tom Hardy show set in like the late 1800s, and he plays like this man who returns to England after his father dies to claim his inheritance, and it's potentially the father was murdered, and like the East India Company want this land that the father owned, and sort of like a political drama kind of thing, but like Victorian era. Like it's a really cool show, like really interesting. And it's a great Tom Hardy performance. So yeah, like I was sort of baffled by this, but like I'm like, oh, this is actually quite cool. Like I imagine, there probably are some like fans of that show.
Is his hat supposed to look so ridiculous?
Yeah. Oh no, that's honestly like the face, maybe slightly off. But it's a bang on costume. Like this is what he looks like on the show.
I mean, the head sculpt must be pretty good in terms of. I said straight away, is that Tom Hardy? I didn't know what it was off, but I obviously recognize it as Tom Hardy.
It's Tom Hardy, yeah.
Is there a big audience for this figure, do you think?
No, not really. Like that's the thing. A lot of people forget the show ever happened. Like it's only one season. They're supposed to make a second season. They've even been talking about it like as recently as last month. But it's been 6 years like since the last one, So I'm curious like who made the decision to like let's do this. But I think it's a really cool looking figure. And like honestly, if I didn't have that Mad Max, if that Mad Max figure wasn't happening, like I might go, I'll pick this up. This will be my Tom Hardy. Yeah, like I love the show. I think it's great. It's just so obscure. Like it's bizarre that they just like we've been talking about like Face Off getting action figures and how that's people know what Face Off is. This is like 90% of people will look at this and go, "What is this?" Like,
it's a classic.
Jack's
right. It does look a little bit like Brad Pitt. I'm thinking more from the Snatch kind of movie. It looks a bit. Hi Ed, no bother, mate. We're actually winding up, mate. But thank you very much for popping in. Not on my list, this one, James. I'm surprised.
Well, you don't know what this show is, so like, why would you? You're surprised not?
But I'm surprised that you would be thinking of it, to be honest. But this is the beauty, I guess, with third-party companies now. They're pumping out figures that Hot Toys will just never touch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
And
god, not in a million years. Like if like someone had said to me, name 10 figures that will absolutely never happen, like I'd nearly go for like for this character. You know, I just never thought it. It's just weird looking at it on screen now. It's like, oh, they're doing a James Delaney from Taboo. Yeah, but like that, you know, that's what some people, that'll be an attractive thing. It's so obscure. They want one, like, and it's a cool Tom Hardy character. Like,
and I guess that's what I would say to people that are watching in terms of these third-party figures. Unlike Hot Toys and Sideshow and all that kind of stuff, where you don't necessarily have to jump on and pre-order on day one. I know this is something that Ben talks about a lot, because the figures are always going to be around. With some of these third-party figures, if you don't get in early and pre-order, they very rarely come back onto the secondary market.
yeah, I don't think there'll be many of these made.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So if this is the kind of figure that appeals to you, you need to pick it up pretty quick, really. Okay, guys, that's your whack. Really, that was just a quick canter through some of the figures that have been out this week. Thank you very much for joining us, James. I do appreciate it. Just to mention a few things that are coming up tomorrow. I love that, Captain America. Tomorrow night we've got a late night show starting at 9 o'clock, where myself and some of the guys will be talking about the usual stuff, the week of geeky news and what we've been buying. We're going to focus this time on crap covers. So looking at awful comic book covers, awful art, and then talking a little bit about time travel movies and my favorite time travel films. So quite looking forward to that. Going to be joined by quite a few people. Hopefully James might be able to join. We've also got hopefully JP Venom, Luke from Hydro Collectibles, Rob Fatstacks, and also Dr. Von Hoot. If anybody else wants to join, just drop us a line. Always more the merrier on that show. Monday night, looking forward to this. This is myself, James, and Efren from Past Point Comics. We are going to be counting down our top 3 favorite scenes from Avengers Phase 1 and our worst scene from Avengers. It's not Avengers, sorry, MCU Phase 1. There's some interesting picks there, so I think that's going to be a fun discussion and a fun night. And I quite often forget that the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk movie was part of that phase, technically, wasn't it? You know, it's.
Well, I would say technically it absolutely is.
Well, it absolutely is, yeah, but it doesn't really kind of link to the others. You know, it's.
Well, Iron Man shows up at the end, and Nick Fury, his name shows up in the thing. Yeah. Like that was the beginning of the MCU. It's like, oh, this is connected to that movie. Like that was like the start of it.
And actually, I mean, we've never really talked about it, James, but actually, that's one of my favorite movies. I really like that film.
I love that movie.
Some very good scenes in it. So that's Monday night. Really looking forward to that. As I always do, shout out to the UK crowd. So you can see on screen we've got all those fantastic live shows. Please do check them out. This week in Metropolis on a Tuesday. JP Venom, excuse me, is doing a live show on Tuesday as well, where we're doing a review of the Immortal Hulk. So check that out. That's at 8 o'clock. It'll finish in time for you to go over to the Nerd Herd. The Metropolis boys and watch them. Wednesday's Nerd Herd, they're doing a Relentless review, so please do check that out. Killer Comic Show on a Thursday with all of their usual goodness. I don't think they're back this Thursday, so watch out for them the following Thursday. And then on Saturdays, we've got Grey Man with his Cover Slingers show, which is always a barrel of laughs. James, have you got anything coming up at the moment?
I've been doing some shorts lately, so I've been ranking the Star Wars movies and TV shows. So I've been doing that. And then, next week we're doing a Jedi Survivor / possibly Star Wars Visions review show. So we'll sort that out. That'll be next week at some point. I'll sort a date with. Yeah. I'll check with everyone when everyone's available, and we'll do a date. So that'll be good.
Very cool. Very cool. I enjoyed Visions. Some of it. Not as much that.
Well, that's the nice thing, isn't it? That like you'll love one and like another one would be like, oh, that was fine. But they're quick.
No, it was good stuff. Okay, guys, thank you very much to everybody that stopped in the chat, and really do appreciate it. And we'll call it a night there. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.